Greetings, unsettled souls. Did you hear what I said? Ohio has been called for Trump. That matters for a whole lot of reasons, not the least of which is that Ohio almost always the winner. Like, they don't normally side with the loser, is what I mean. Secondly, and this is even more beautiful, no Republican candidate has ever won the presidency without winning Ohio. Google, turn the volume all the way up. Hey, Google, turn the volume all the way up.
Going to have to wait.
Yeah, and our political unit's been crunching the numbers of like where things stand right now in the upper Midwest. So just to give you a sense of this, right now there's about 62% of the expected vote reported in Wisconsin, but that includes none of the early vote, which we know could be sizable in some parts of Wisconsin. Michigan, about half the expected vote is in, but it's only about 16% of the early vote. So again, this is why we can't project these states yet. There's just still too many votes to be counted.
Hey, Google, turn the volume down by half. In the time it took me to finish doing some paperwork that I had to do and to get on the air again, Trump has taken Ohio. That is huge because with Florida, technically, that negates some of the problems that could be caused by North Carolina. Did I say North Carolina? North Carolina is also slowly but surely flipping to Trump. This is huge. This is really, really good news. Let me know, anybody in chat. Hey, Google, turn the volume up by 2. Let me know if you guys can hear that and also hear me, because I have a couple different streams that I'm watching, but I have been partial to ABC News, and I'll let you know why. I've been partial to ABC News because they have sounded so sad as Trump wins. I guess. Hello, Deanna. Hold on one second. We have a caller, and I'm pretty sure she wants to share in the excitement. Hey, Google, stop. Hello, Deanna. Deanna. Hello. Oh wow, you're not working. Hello, Deanna. Oh, try to get a hold of me again, Deanna. For some reason, your call was absolutely lost. If you want to get a hold of me, I got a question. Why do I want Trump to win? That's a very good question, Alan. I'm going to go ahead and shoot that out there. Again, I am asking anybody, if you're doing an Ask Me Anything, even if you don't donate to me, please do donate if you can to Clarissa Lipstrew and William Abbott, because survived a house fire and are very, very fortunate. Deanna, is that you? I'll get to your question in 1 minute. Deanna, is that you? Hello, you are on the air, Deanna. Hello. Yeah, you're on the air. Hey, Google, turn the volume all the way up. All right, well, I don't know if that might come in the front, and don't make a lot of noise unless you want to be on the air, because tonight is totally for the election, but you're always welcome. Alan Mitchell has asked why I went ahead and why I did vote for Trump. And that's actually a very good question that I'm glad I was asked. No, I'm not sick. For one thing, I like the fact that he has pointed out the misconceptions and the lies that we've known for some time is inherent in the media. And we've noticed this in a number of ways. And it's nice to have somebody now that obviously points it out. For instance, the way that he was called racist for praising some of the people who wanted to protect the statue, and that was turned around and manipulated and turned into them saying that he supported Nazis. I like the fact that he got us out of the Paris Accord, because we know that man is not warming the planet, and we know this for a number of reasons that I can point out real quick. One of them is that there are 500 United Nations scientists who all signed a letter on the day that Greta Thunberg spoke. Everybody heard about Greta, a 16-year-old who nobody ever heard of before, was suddenly an overnight sensation and an expert on climate change. Meanwhile, 500 United Nations scientists went on record for saying that we are not in danger of being warmed due to the activities of man. These were not scientists that were tied to the Republican Party, nor the industry, nor in most instances were they tied in any way to America. These were geologists, these were meteorologists, these were a number of people from different sciences. And what they discovered is that and you can tell this from geology, where they've shown other periods of time that were much warmer or much colder over almost any place on Earth that you'd want to choose. And that has been the case for a very long time. And long before man was even a factor. They hadn't the caves or anything like that at all. I also want him to win because he got us out of the horrible NAFTA deal. The USMCA, USMCA has been a huge boom. It's going to do wonderful things for our country. He's got us paying the same price for pills, medicines, that other countries do, instead of America having to pay more. Other countries are now paying their fair share in NATO. Why? Why were we paying for Germany? Why? These are all things which made a very, very big deal to me. Ohio has not been officially called yet, but looks like it has gone in that direction. Trump really needs to get Pennsylvania. That could take a couple of days. Jesse asked what Trump needs. He needs Pennsylvania. He needs Ohio to be called. Arizona may be going to Biden, which means Trump needs to keep holding Florida, which he's doing. He needs to hold Georgia, which he's doing. And if he picks up North Carolina, then, if I'm not mistaken, if my math isn't messed up, then we're going to have a very good night as Trump supporters. Hello, Andrew Bersetto. Hello. I'm trying to go back and forth from both streams. I am on YouTube and Facebook. I want to make sure I don't miss you guys. There's hello. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you do that too. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the Facebook. And if you are on the Facebook page, make sure you go to youtube.com/thecorrectviews and subscribe there. Share the videos, let people know I'm out there. All right, guys, going again. Anybody donates to the show or to my friends who survived the fire, you can do an Ask Me Anything. Chad, I'm saying it on air, has already helped them both. He did them a remarkable favor. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want everybody mooching off of him. But Chad is allowed to do an Ask Me Anything. One of the things I heard, and it was great, I'm going to put the radio back on to update us here in a moment. The sad voices of ABC, they were like, well, one of the things we found, and I'm going to do all their ums and ers. Well, one of the things we've seen is that the Latino community, of course, is a very a very diverse community. Many of them are Catholic and do tend to be a bit more conservative. Well, who said that before? Michael Savage and who was the other guy? Oh, me! That's who's been saying that. for a very long time. A lot of them are Catholic and they're more conservative than I am. And like I said, if you're just tuning in, I voted for almost entirely Republicans. I voted for a Democrat judge who my car was stolen once. And when going in and out of court dealing with them, the mess that caused, I had the opportunity to watch this judge in action. And she did great. So I voted for her. She was a Democrat. And for Congress, I voted for the Libertarian. So I did vote for Donald Trump for president, of course. But again, going back to a bunch of reasons as to why, just focus on any one or two of those reasons, if you would. Hey, Google, play 6:40 a.m. WHLO. She's rebelling. I bet she's a Biden supporter. Hey, oh, she's Google. Of course she is. Hey, Google, play 6:40 WHLO.
Streaming 640 WHLO from iHeartRadio.
Hey, Google, turn the volume down by 3. So what we've got here is the entire facade of what the Democrats were doing coming in on them. Let's take this idea of global warming and the whole Green New Deal. The foolishness that's involved here is absolutely staggering, because not only is man not warming the planet, not only is much of this caused by the sun, and there's been many studies that have proven this, but let's just put yourself into one tiny example, and then we're going to multiply it by the country. We're going to play a little bit of a math game here, if you will. And I suck at math, but I guarantee this is all going to make perfect sense to you. I don't think I'm going to lose anyone. Let's say that I'm doing a Grubhub delivery, which is what I was an entertainment writer and a DJ before COVID hit. So a lot of us have filled in gaps in many ways. So let's say that I'm bringing you something that today it's $5 for the delivery. You tip me $3. And your order itself from the restaurant is another $10. All right, that's not so bad. Now, let's say that we go in the direction of the Green New Deal. Let's say that we go in the direction of the global warming lie. Okay. Now it's going to cost more for the food to get from the warehouses to the McWendy's. So now the McWendy's food that you ordered is $12. Many of you are just tuning in. I'm explaining how the global warming thing is going to affect anyone if anybody ever gets to invoke this madness. So now your $10 order from the restaurant is $12. Of course, it's going to cost more for me to get to the restaurant. So now Grubhub is going to have to pay me more, or I'm going to reject the order. So now instead of Grubhub paying me $5, they're paying me $6. Okay. So now your order has gone up $3. Now on top of that, there's going to be more fees and more taxes involved. So when I bring it to your house, your credit card transaction, whatever, their bills are going to go up because of higher fuel costs. So, of course, the bank fee on the card is going to be higher. So by the time all this is said and done, you've paid $4 or $5 more for the delivery under the Green New Deal. This is a deal? Now, that's just one order. Let's go ahead, and this is one order in one tiny little gig market. Now let's say that you spend that extra $4. You call Grubhub 10 times a month. That's $40. In 10 months, $400. Now, let's factor that into all food delivery. Let's factor that into all goods and services that move up and down the freeways and semi-trucks. Do you see where this is going? Now factor this into your heating bill. Factor this into your air cooling bill. Factor this into how much it's going to cost you to get back and forth to work every day. And all of this for the provable lie of climate change. And it is a provable lie. It has been proven by many people to be a lie. Hello, Blue Star Warrior. Greetings and welcome. I don't know if YouTube knows this, so I'm going to mention it real quick. Anybody, I'm doing an Ask Me Anything on YouTube, well, I guess on Facebook, but for YouTube, I should say. I am doing an Ask Me Anything. If you donate to the show at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com through PayPal, that is thecorrectviews@hotmail.com through PayPal, or if you go online from my Facebook and donate to William Abbott, or Clarissa Lipstrew, starts with a K. Or you can donate to me and let me know that it's for them. If you do any of those three things, or any combination therein, you can do an Ask Me Anything. The only rules that go with that is it has to be about me. You cannot ask me about other people. Paul Strange is asking where a regular listener and commenter is. My guess is that he's contemplating hanging himself. I'm kidding. I hope he's very safe tonight. That's it. That's figurative. He knows I'm kidding. I ain't got to say that. My guess is hanging himself, or possibly hanging me and you. Big Biden supporter is who he's asking about. Just a moment. I'm going to step away for exactly 2 seconds, but I will be right back. Hold on. And all right, I am back. So that's where we are currently. To go ahead and make sure that I tell everyone as well that with Georgia, with Georgia voting for Trump, and with the entire process, and the entire process going ahead, going so heavily towards Trump in North Carolina, we're looking at the potential friends to have a very, very good night. So that is definitely the hope. Hey Google, turn the volume up. All right, I'm going to let the radio catch us up. Hey guys, even Rush Limbaugh takes a break. I'm going to let the radio catch us up, and I will be right back. But I'm giving you a lot of the information that I'm getting as well. Hey Google, turn the volume all the way up.
He was asked if he had prepared a concession speech or acceptance speech, and said he hadn't gotten that far, that he would wait to see how the night plays out. So still TBD as far as whether the president will actually comment on everything happening. But we are seeing his staffers, advisors kind of doing the work for him. We actually just got an email from the Trump campaign sending out an email to supporters blasting the fake news media and their Democrat partners for refusing to call the race. That's something I've been seeing Trump advisors doing on social media as well. They've been they were complaining about how it took, Florida still hasn't been called. ABC News still hasn't called Florida, but they were complaining about the fact that a number of outlets hadn't called Florida yet, even though it was 93%, 94% reporting. Senator Marco Rubio, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, jumping in on that and adding to that, saying that the race should be called there. And they're also mad about Arizona. Jason Miller, senior advisor to the Trump campaign, saying it's way too early for ABC News hasn't. I don't believe we've called the race yet, but they're certainly furious that other outlets have called the race in Arizona. They say it's too soon for that.
ABC's Inez de la Cuetara with us live from Washington, where we may yet hear from President Trump and the Trump campaign. We do expect to hear from Joe Biden in the next several moments, and of course we will bring it to you. As it stands right now,
Hey,
Joe
Google,
Biden
turn
is
the
leading
volume
the
down by
tally
half.
of electoral votes, 205
turn the
to
volume
President
down by
Trump's
half.
136, but a lot is going to change.
Hey Google,
with
turn
these
the volume
battleground
down by
states.
Yeah,
half.
absolutely. And, of course, keeping an eye on the same
This
ones
is
that we were
brilliant.
talking about tonight.
Hey
of,
Google, turn the
Pennsylvania.
volume down by half.
I think
All right, so if he continues to hold North Carolina the way that he has so far, a lot of the fears that people have are going to be negated. Particularly since it looks like he's holding, which is for what is all intents and purposes, his home state of Florida. Florida is big, and it looks like the entire thing is going to come down to Pennsylvania. Ohio is leaning heavily Trump. That has switched within the last half hour. The trouble is that both Maine and Pennsylvania could take weeks, or not weeks, well, maybe, but could take up to a week to decide. If Pennsylvania is close, I think that they are one of the states that are allowing anything up to when it has to be postmarked by the time that polls close.
It seems like President Trump
Today, Tuesday. They would have to be postmarked by the time that they closed on Tuesday. So if it comes down to that, we could be here for a moment. I'm going to take a look at some other sites that I had used last time that gave me an extremely big heads up.
As we go past midnight, very competitive and still very much in the game.
Currently, according to the Drudge Report, currently, this is good news. This is very, very good news, because most of the Biden states so far have come in. We are looking at Biden 223 and Trump 145. That is 49.78 for Trump and 49.78 for Biden and 48.58 for Trump. That is absolutely in every possible way remarkable news. Just absolutely remarkable news. So for it to be that close, it's absolutely remarkable news. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait to find out what some of the later states are going to do. But if the red wave is big enough, those other states are not going to matter to the level that we suspected that they would. That's for absolutely sure. Let's try this again. Hey, Google, turn the volume up.
We're in Wilmington, Delaware. We may get here from President Trump. Also waiting for more Senate results because control of the Senate's in the balance with no clear winner there.
Okay, so far we know that
Democrats will retain control of the House.
we know that the Senate is still in play. The House is not looking so good. Have a good one, man. The House is not looking so good, but the Senate is actually looking like that may be held. If the Senate is held, that is also a very
Jonathan Karl every week.
I'm looking here. We've got a national map results.
On the powerhouse politics.
Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Of course, already clashes are beginning outside the White House. Hey, Google, turn the volume down. Cops clash with Black Lives Matter and Antifa protesters, according to the U.S. Sun. In ugly scenes outside the White House as they vow to stay for weeks. They've already been there for weeks. I mean, we're going to stay for weeks. So you've already been there weeks. You were there weeks ago when the show went to D.C. You were there weeks ago when Candace Owens spoke. So what? You're going to be there. Freeze to death. We don't care. Really? If you don't have the sense to get out of the cold, then, so be it. And I hate to be brutally honest here, but why is it always the left that's so prone to do these sorts of things? That's my question. You keep hearing about the violent, dangerous right, but it's never the violent, dangerous right which are causing all of the problems which we tend to be seeing. Very interested to find out what's going to happen with well, I wasn't looking for Maine to be a state that was in play. And those of you in other states, What have you seen in terms of excitement or in terms of yard signs or anything like that? We've got, I'm letting this site load here, which I guess it's going to do very, very, very slowly. We've got a couple different sites which I'm bouncing back and forth from. The Battleground Tally site is very useful. I understand it's election night, but you think these sites would have been a little bit more prepared for the slew. All right, what do we got here? President would be nice, yes. I would like to see Joe Jordanson hit 5%. I've been saying that all season long. I don't know that she's going to, but that would be an absolute blessing because what it would do is put a very much needed end to the two-party system. And from there, you would have third parties in the debates, and well, things would be just completely wide open after that. It would be one of the best things that could happen to the country. I had said that if Joe Jordanson was polling at near 5% or something like that, that I would possibly consider voting for her. But unfortunately, that wasn't where she was at. I'm trying to get numbers on her. I heard she was polling at 1, which would be of no use to the party at all, unfortunately. Currently, it is 187, 136 for Biden in terms of the Electoral College. But like again, we have some of the East Democrat states already out of the way, and the states that the Trump needs is holding in there pretty easily. Hey Google, turn the volume up.
Here are correspondents Karen Travers and Aaron Kaczynski. The only place there's voting left to do is Alaska. Otherwise, the polls are closed and the counting continues. And that's a slog in the swing states. That's where this race is going to be decided. We project Trump where you'd expect. President Trump retained Ohio and its traditional link to winners. He's leading in Florida and North Carolina, but Joe Biden's hanging in there in Georgia. It appears to be leading in Arizona. In Pennsylvania, the count is quite slow and is going to continue into Wednesday morning. Let's check in.
That's interesting. There could be.
Yeah, that's right, Aaron. It's definitely going to be a while before we get some of these results. I think looking at some of the suburbs, interesting information we've got recently, but still a really long way to go. You look at counties like Montgomery County, Delaware County, Bucks County. Those are all
very good. Georgia is a toss again. When I first went live, Georgia was heavy Trump.
Expected vote in it at this point. You look at Michigan, similar story. We're still waiting on a lot of these results. Wisconsin as well. And then I think when we talk about results too, we look at Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania.
Politico's site is absolutely useless this evening. It's loading at a snail's pace, and it's just not bringing it this evening.
Yet to be counted. So in Wisconsin, some of these early projections right now are almost entirely without any early votes so far. Michigan, only about 16% of the early vote has been counted, and then in Pennsylvania, only about 24%. So you can see
Ohio is red. It is now official. Alexander Michael Lash. It is official. He had mentioned earlier that it was not official. Well, it is official now. Yes. Now, I'm proud of it, but I'm not surprised by it. So far, it is 43-42. The Senate balance of power is going Republican so far. The House, 207, 170, yeah, that's definitely going. Democrat governors, 19 Republican, 20, 19 Republican, 20 Democrat.
I think again, remember, we're still paying attention to Georgia and North Carolina, which are really interesting that they have not yet been projected. I don't have a good sense yet on what the timing on that.
Here's what I've got, friends, for battleground states. I've got Arizona going likely Democrat. I've got Florida going likely Republican. Georgia and Iowa are a toss-up. I look for Trump to take Iowa. He's currently up 839,383 votes to 721,175 votes, 52.8% over 45.3. So he's probably going to get Iowa. He's also up in Georgia, 53 to 45.7%. So those two are looking very good. Arizona's looking bad. Florida's looking amazing. Minnesota. Remember Jesse Ventura? Minnesota. I'll get to your question in a minute. I saw it ring up. Minnesota is leaning Democrat, as is Nevada. New Hampshire, like I said, that did go to Biden. North Carolina, too close to call. Very, very close. 50.1, 48.7. Trump leading it, though. 50.1 to 48.7. That again, that's North Carolina. Ohio has gone to Trump. So Georgia and Iowa, too close to call, but leaning Trump. Minnesota, Nevada, leaning Democrat. North Carolina, the barely leaning Trump. And it looks like he's going to get Florida. Let me get to your question. All right, I thought you asked a question. Somebody asked a question, and that's down. It's Borzy. It's probably about poop. We're waiting on a comment. I'm waiting for the comment to ring in from John Borzia, and we are at the mercy of there is no telling.
Then, of course, you have Georgia, where there's likely to be, there certainly will be a runoff in January. But the Republican Kelly Loeffler.
Hello there on YouTube. Still coming in.
Democrat there, Raphael Warnock. Really
oh, he sent me. I get it with a GIF of a dancing bear. If you guys do want to be on the broadcast, make sure you let me know. You can direct message me or just ping me any message here. Let me know that you want to be on, and I'll find some way to ring you in. I might DM you the number.
Democrats can have a chance. It's probably going to be Montana.
ABC News political analyst Steve Roberts. We have a new projection in a battleground state. ABC News projects President Trump the winner in Florida.
Ting, 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 ting! Trump takes Florida! Oh, man. And I'm going to tell you something, and this has been the way the last few years of my life has gone. I'm not going to give a big sob story here, but I know what sadness sounds like, okay? I sort of know what deep sadness sounds like. And that is what I was hearing on the NPR broadcasts. That's what I was hearing on all of the Democrat leading major news websites. And I was hearing jubilance and confidence among people on the Republican side, up and down the dial everywhere that I looked. And with Trump now getting Florida, this is a good night, friends. It would be a blessing to the nation if we were to become fortunate enough that we know who the winner of this election is before Florida is counted.
Florida is significant. We had expected maybe to get the results a little bit sooner than we did, and Joe Biden certainly had hopes, but President Trump was able to hold on to Florida. And now we're about to hear from Joe Biden, who has arrived outside the chamber.
This ought to be good. We're about to hear from Joe Biden. He's going to say, I have not lost the Senate yet. It'd be great.
This is where we expect to hear momentarily from Joe Biden, so stay with us.
I'm Aaron.
Oh, that's hilarious. I bet we're all on pins and needles waiting to hear from Joe Biden.
Because Joe Biden has just walked out on the stage in Wilmington, Delaware.
Taking off his mask, you can hear the horn honks.
Hey, Google, turn the volume up.
Patience is
Can you guys hear
commendable.
okay on YouTube? Can
We
everybody
knew
hear?
this was going to go long, but who knew we're going to go into maybe tomorrow morning, maybe even longer.
Can you hear?
But look, we feel good about where we are. We really do.
Nobody
I'm here
else
to
on
tell
your
you
side
tonight,
does.
we believe we're on track to win this election. We knew because of the unprecedented early vote and the mail-in vote that it's going to take a while. We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished.
Hey, Google, play 640 WHLO. Damn it.
Streaming 640 WHLO from iHeartRadio.
Around. We also just called it from Minnesota, and we're still in the game in Georgia, although that's not one we expected. And we're feeling real good about Wisconsin and Michigan.
I wouldn't feel too good about Michigan.
It's going to take time to
I
count
mean,
votes.
Wisconsin.
We're going to win Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
I've been talking to the folks in Philly, Allegheny County, Scranton, and they're really encouraged by the turn of what they see. Look, you know, we can know the results as early as tomorrow morning, but it may take a little longer. As I've said all along, it's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. But I'm optimistic about this outcome. And I want to thank every one of you who came out and voted election. And by the way, Chris Coons and the Democrats, congratulations here in Delaware. Pardon?
John Furman.
Hey, John, you're the gov. Yeah, the whole team, man. You've done a great job. I'm grateful to the poll workers, to our volunteers, our canvassers, everyone who participated in this democratic process. And I'm grateful to all my supporters here in Delaware and all across the nation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And folks, you heard me say it before. Every time I walk out of my grandpa's house up in Scranton, he'd yell, "Joey, keep the faith." And my grandma, when she was alive, yelled, "No, Joey, spread it. Keep the faith, guys. We're going to win this." Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Live from Wilmington, Delaware.
Hey, Google, turn the volume down by half. Friends, you might as well make sure you listen to that, because the next time you hear Joe Biden speak, it's probably going to be for a concession speech. Who's with me? Yeah, once again, guys, the Ask Me Anything is in full effect. I do ask if you could donate to the show or donate to my friends who survived the house fire but had many of their things torched up. I do ask if you could to donate to them if you join in the Ask Me Anything. But it's not mandatory. I'm probably still going to answer it. You know. Everybody been able to hear the when I bring that in? Okay. Hey, Google, turn the volume up by 2.
In August, as you said, telling people that their patience is commendable, and he is.
The one thing I think is a huge takeaway in this is the fact that so much of this depends on the way the Democrats have been portraying it. As in, it was in the bag, that it was a shoo-in for them, that it was guaranteed to happen, that it was guaranteed to take place. And I was telling everybody, no, man, definitely not. That's not the case. And now you can sort of hear it in their voices. Listen to this. Hey, Google, turn the volume up. Oh, never mind. She's covering the Biden speaking thing. The commentators, earlier, Steve Roberts, the commentator for ABC, sounded like he wanted to end his life. I mean, he was just miserable. I'm loving Florida right now. Florida, God bless you people. And that is a big part of it. And I know that there are some people that will mock my views on that. And if that's the case, then so be it. But, oh, I hadn't seen some of these comments. I'll get to them in 1 minute. I'm very sorry. But actually, I'm going to get to them now. I did not see that. You've been drinking too much Kool-Aid, brother. How so? What did I say that wasn't true? A lot of red on the map tonight, indeed, Jesse. Global warming is not an idea. It's a fact. Man is pushing the planet. Man is not warming the planet at all. How can... There is no science to promote for this global warming nonsense, Alan. Absolutely. There is nothing there. Why? Why does the geological record show us clearly that the planet was warmer and cooler in all the places that everybody's worrying about now at other points in time in our history? Why is that? Lee Caldwell said she hoped Trump wins. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alan Mitchell, but you can call me full of it all you want to. The point is, the science is not there for the global warming cult. We weren't supposed to have icebergs by now, according to Al Gore. New York was going to be underwater by 20 to Al Gore. Secondly, even if you do buy the global warming ruse, the fossil fuel emissions that we have now are less than the fossil fuel emissions that were being given out at the very end of the Obama administration. And the most important part about that is that so much of the foreign intervention in the wars that we were in was because the country was top foreign oil. Donald Trump has America oil independent. That means we don't need foreign oil anymore, and we don't have to kiss the ass of people that would love to see us dead. I'm sorry, the global warming thing is a known and provable lie. It's so easy to see this. People say, well, California is getting warmer and warmer. No, it's not. California went through a fluke cooling spell that even allowed people to want to live there. If you look at the geological record for California, you'll find that it was much hotter. All for the last 300, 400, 500, 600 years. Okay, look in the Bible where it talks about, and again, as a historical reference, it talks about the lake where the angel was stirred. Now, some people say there was no angel there. Some people say there was an angel there. I'm partial to there was. But the point is, nobody said that there wasn't a lake there. There was very much a lake there. Today, there is no lake there. Do you know why? Because Jesus Christ and his disciples were driving their cars around and they warmed it up and the lake went away. No. Judas Iscariot wasn't driving a Fiat. Judas I Fiat? No. Do you know why? Because man didn't warm the planet then either. Let's get an update real quick. Google, turn the volume up all the way. Hey, Google, turn the volume up.
The president is going to make that argument, and he is going to, and he has also made it very clear that his lawyers will start to try to challenge up and down.
Oh, now he's whining and whining and whining, hoping that the whole scam with the mail-in ballots can bail them out of the hole that they're in. I hate to be the one to tell them this, but there is no bailing them out of this hole. This is something that they have dug themselves into. There's virtually no way out.
Political analyst Steve Roberts, as we wait for more results, the holdup is in largely urban centers in some of the nation's largest cities in these battleground.
That's great. Steve Roberts has sounded more and more depressed as the night goes on, which is great because all of these ABC people. Hey, Google, turn the volume down. All of these ABC people are like absolutely knee deep in the Democrat Party. These are the people that supported a foolish, foolhardy impeachment based on data which they knew was. They knew that Christopher Steele, the British agent, was hired to create a dossier full of foolishness. They know that they spied on Donald Trump's campaign, and yet this is the same left that has done everything they could to slander and lie about the President of the United States. And what we are seeing today is the backlash to all of that. And them him hawing around and, well, they can't even talk. That whole thing is happening because they have supported a lie that they could not sell to the American people. That is the entire story of this whole night, and you can hear the unfolding of that story and the quivering that is coming out of their woeful voices every time they go on. Blue Star Warrior 1 said, "Got 4 people watching. I wish it was 400,000. Too many people are brainwashed." You're absolutely true about that, my friends. And I think a lot of it, too, is how the show has been held back on YouTube, particularly. And now it's starting, of course, on Facebook, to where people who tell the truth and back things up with facts will be eliminated for the lies of the left. They will be shadow banned and held back and restricted from the entire process and getting their fair say out. And unless people do share the video directly and like literally put the show in people's faces, they may not see it at all. And that has been the case for a while. When the show was with the former co-host, I think in that regard things ran a little bit better and it was easier to promote and things. So that has also been a detriment. But in that regard, things sort of are what they are. So you guys listening, what are some of the reasons why you voted for Trump? I said that you guys could ask me anything. Well, go ahead. Why did you guys vote for Trump? What were the reasons that led you to do it? Or what made you not vote for Trump? Who'd you vote for? Anybody listening to this vote for Jo Jorgensen? See, my problem with Jo Jorgensen is she was a great big fan of nuclear energy. And I know that the Republican Party is as well. I'm aware of that unfortunate reality. However, she wanted to practically put a nuclear power plant on every corner. On top of that, nuclear power isn't liberty. When you put something that you know causes cancer, even when it posted with routine releases, when you build something like that in a community, that's not liberty. That's like opening up a meth lab in a duplex. Hey Google, turn the volume up. Let's get an update. Hey Google, turn the volume all the way up.
Dade, Broward County area, but so-called pivot counties that had voted for Obama in 2016, in 2012 and 2008, that then Trump was able to win in 2016. He was able to hold on to 3 out of 4 of those. Jefferson, Monroe, St. Lucie County as well. Also, if you look at some of the polling for suburban men and women, suburban men skewed toward Trump as well from our preliminary exit polls. It was a long night. It took a little while for us to come out, but Trump pretty much held a lead the entire night, not by a big margin, but this was a big win for his campaign tonight.
Sure was. ABC's Lana Louise with us from Miami. Steve Roberts, our political analyst. Out of all of the things that happened in the last 4 years, it's just amazing that the result in Florida is pretty much the same as it was in 2016.
Hey Google, turn the volume down by half.
All along.
Hey Google, turn the volume down by half. Why is it amazing to them that the same thing has happened? The people in Florida voted for him to bring a good economy. And what did Trump do? Trump brought a good economy. People voted for Donald Trump so that he could bring about the kind of economic change that we needed to come about to not have our jobs outsourced by getting rid of NAFTA. Florida voted for that. Florida got that. Florida did not want to be overrun by illegal aliens, and a lot of the people who did not want that were people who had immigrated here legally and had escaped that hellhole that they were living in for a reason. Florida voted for that. So for ABC News to sit here just now and say that they're so surprised by this is an absolute testimony to the disconnect that the mainstream media has when it comes to why and how real America thinks and acts and why they do so. And I think more and more and more that needs to be understood, because this isn't shocking to anybody who has paid attention, to anybody who has had boots on the ground, so to speak. I have been blessed, as I've said, to be part of the Trump train. In the Starr County Trump train, they used me as their media person quite often. Thank you, Doug Wright. Thank you to those who donated at the correct views of hotmail.com through PayPal, which you can do listening. If you do, you can join in on the Ask Me Anything. DC, the excitement for Trump was there. There was some Trump hatred. We went to Black Lives Matter Square. We were able to find some hatred for Trump, but you know what we were not able to find? We were not able to find excitement for Joe Biden. And you can't win on I hate the other guy. John Kerry tried that with George Bush, and it did not work. Alaska, the only place that is still open. Biden will be happy. Maybe he'll get some votes from the Russians in Alaska. And again, we all know by now that Biden was doing exactly what they tried to accuse Trump of doing, which is interesting because those of you who are fellow students of history, you will remember that Marx said to always accuse your enemy of the things which you are doing. What did we find out from Hunter's hard drive, friends? What did we find out? We found out that he was being accused, that Hunter was literally paying the big guy anywhere from 10 to 50%. And at one point, the big guy wanted more than 50%. In other words, Joe Biden, for all intents and purposes, was peddling his strung out son to use to channel money from a various number of sources into paid access to the vice presidency of the United States of America. How can this man be anywhere near winning this? Did you hear that, friends? ABC News. I'm deliberately picking a lefty so I can hear them die. Just sorry from their evil voices. They're saying it looks like 2016 all over again. And that is music to the ears to those of us who care and love liberty. Again, notice they keep checking in with the Biden campaign. Why aren't they checking in with the Trump campaign? The New York Times are pointing a bit to Trump. Fox is pointing to Biden. The New York Times and Fox News, our election needles are completely at odds. So the New York Times has Trump with an 88% chance to win. And North Carolina, oh, I see. New York Times is saying that Trump has an 88% chance to win in North Carolina. Fox is saying 92% chance for Biden. So the left thinks the right got it, and the right outlet thinks that the guy got it. It's flipped. I think it's flipped enough that Trump's going to end up with this at this point. Fox may be wrong on that. Oh, okay. Trump hasn't said anything, so ABC did offer. I do want to be fair. I want to be fair. I am very, very happy that so many people have really stepped up this election, because I was afraid for a while that it might not happen. And then once I turned on, I was going back and forth from Rush and NPR to Mike Trevisano to Sean Hannity. And I was hearing a lot, like I said, I know what sadness sounds like. Unfortunately, life has made that abundantly clear to me the last few years. What I was hearing was absolute sadness. And again, I think fears of a rigged or stolen election, which they're talking about, is something that makes a particular sense when you think about the kind of lies that we have already seen come at us from the left. The whole sham of the impeachment, the ridiculous, the phone call was simply a congratulatory phone call. Let me ask you a question. How many of you listeners think that the leader of the Ukraine is terrified to call and congratulate Trump when he wins? Anybody? Anybody at all? People jumping on the stream and off the stream, do feel free to leave a comment or say something. Let me know what's going on. I finally got the comment stream to work. I answered Alan's question, but I think I answered it so late that he's never going to hear it. But we got the stream working. I'm getting the update here from the other site that I'm using, which is trickling in for battleground states. Nothing has changed there so far. So the question from this point is, I'm going to go for a while longer. I'm not going to jump off yet, but how long do you guys want me to go? I don't think now's a good time to jump off, but I want to give you guys a heads up. How long then, should we maybe go on? Hopefully it won't come down to just Florida, because that is really annoying. I'm hoping that that's not the case. Instead of QAnon supporter wins. But see, I got into a rather heated discussion about Q with someone, and I'm going to put this out there for you guys. I want your opinions on this. Would you be so kind? If Q had all this information, and they've had all this information for the last, say, 3 years at least. It's longer than that, but this information has been had for 3 years. Do you know how many children have been molested or abused in the time that you've been sitting on this information that you didn't put out there? That's the same thing that Marty Feldman did. Oh, well, I'll release the information if I get so much money. I'll wait, 30 years to say who did it. Even though children were in jeopardy every moment that these people are out there. So if Q is real, to hell with Q. Okay, my problem with Q is you don't sit on that kind of information. You simply don't do it, friends. You just don't do it. Not when there are lives that could be greatly affected for the entire duration of that person's life at stake. No, absolutely not. So I'm not a huge fan of Q if it's true for that reason. And I'd like to know what some of you guys think about that, because there are some people that don't understand my particular disdain for that. But I think when it's thought about coherently, I think a lot of people listening to this are going to be like, yeah, you know what? Sam's right on this. That's not cool. Making sure the stream is live. Let's get an update. Hey, Google, turn the volume up. Hey, Google, turn the volume up. 187, 171 is the current electoral college count. 187, 171, friends.
And remember, Pennsylvania was so close in 2016. 44,000 votes. That was the margin out of 6 million cast. President Trump won that in such a squeaker. So, what the Biden campaign had been saying for weeks now was that, they weren't going to have to flip some counties from red to blue. Then they'll win in places where the president won in 2016. They just needed to eat into the margins enough that it shifted the overall for the state. And Adam Kelsey, who's kind of done some of the number crunching, is finding that we're actually seeing that in some of these places. Biden gaining about 4 to 5 points in some counties that the president had won pretty big before. And that would be enough in some of the central parts of the state.
You can hear them still trying to find some way to which they might be able to hold on to this. Hey, it's Cat Cam. How they might be able to get onto this, but so far, man, I'll tell you.
That has not been counted, and so we do not have enough information to make projections. We knew this was a possibility going into Election Day after 100 million of us.
It's Cat Cam. It's the cat that survived the fire. Well, they all did, but this is the one that's been nestling and cuddling ever since. So, friends, again, I'm taking during the Ask Me Anything, if you support the show in some way. I also would like very much to know, like I said, what made you vote the way that you did today? Hey, Google, turn the volume down. What made you vote the way that you did today? That's an interesting question. Did you vote for Trump? Who did you vote for? Why did you do it? If you want to call into the show, you are welcome to do so. And if you don't have the number, go ahead and send me a message in some way. You can get a hold of me at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com. You can get a hold of me in the comment lines on these streams. Is the easiest way to do it. That makes me happy. They're going over the things that led people to vote. And some of them are, the economy was the driving force. Only 23% were worried about the whole race thing, which is good because the whole racism thing is a lie. Most people of all races are not racist towards other people, and those that are, percentage-wise, probably always will be. I was very happy to see that the coronavirus was, of course, big on the list. And I was more than mildly pleased to see that global warming was absent from the list of major concerns which drove people this voting cycle. That makes me exuberant to hear. Absolutely exuberant to know that that lie is falling flat on its face. Sorry, Alan Mitchell. And again, now they're admitting that Trump is picking up more of the female vote. How many times did we hear that wasn't going to be the case? Trump had no hope for that vote, that vote was gone. This is beautiful, friends. I'm encouraged very much by what I have seen so far, to put it mildly. So I think at this point, the main thing that needs to happen is Trump needs to pick up. I keep going back to this, but I can't stress it enough. I would like to see Trump pull off enough of a victory that we don't need Pennsylvania. would prevent a lot of the shenanigans so many of us are worried about happening in Pennsylvania from even being an option. To be hoping for. I think when it comes to Michigan, and I always forget about Wisconsin, a lot, and I think I think most of the country pretty much did the same thing. When we heard Joe Biden admit that he was looking to chip away at oil, then we could pretty much say at that point that that was going to be the end of his chances. Now, here's the numbers I got on Pennsylvania. New numbers on Pennsylvania. Anybody out there? Anybody interested in Pennsylvania at all? Anybody? Show of hands. Could I get a thumbs up? Could I get an anything? New numbers on Pennsylvania. We've got Mr. Biden at 42.1% with 1,949,931 votes. Trump 56.6% at 2,624,084 with 65% of the votes in Pennsylvania. Now, in the event that Trumpster can sweep that big enough, we could be winning the victory bell to the point where maybe some of the counts in Pennsylvania won't even need to happen if the red wave is as big as it looks like it could be in that instance. Oh, this is beautiful. Texas, 52.3% for Trump, 46.2% Biden. Yeah, 93% in. 93% in going Trump. Texas, 38 electoral votes. Georgia, Trump, 52.2%, Biden, 46.6%, 85% in. 18 electoral votes. North Carolina, Trump, 50.1%, Biden, 48.7%, 15 electoral votes. There's 20, of course, in Pennsylvania. Hawaii, with its 4, went to Democrats. Pathetic. Michigan, 53.5%, Trump, 44.8%, Biden, 59% in. Michigan night. Oh, yeah, I miss you. Good night. That's what Biden is saying. Yeah, I miss you. Good night. Kent, yeah, you're so right, Kent, with the big smiley face. Indeed. Oh, yeah, look at those numbers in Michigan. Wisconsin, Biden, 47%, Trump 51.3% with 74% in. Montana, you might as well just give it to Trump here. 52.9% to 44.2%. Trump. Alaska, nah, nothing in yet. Maine. Oh, that's not good. Maine with their 4 votes. We thought that could take a while. Remember I said I didn't think Maine was going to be up? 51.9% Biden, 45% Trump. So we could be looking at a bit of misfortune there. Guys, this is looking remarkable. Did you hear those numbers that I just read to you? Did those numbers register in your ears by any chance? Those are some good numbers, friends. I like those numbers an awful lot. Trump winning 2-1 in Kenosha. Guys, those of you who pray as I do need to definitely pray tonight. And those of you who don't pray should pray tonight anyway. Because God in heaven is maybe shining his bright light down on us right now. Oh, thank you, sweet Jesus. This is absolutely beautiful. Wow, we got whole colds. So sick of the stupid DUI commercial. That's another racket. Did you know alcohol was found in the systems of so many people that were in a wreck? So was oxygen, but it didn't cause the accident. I think most accidents would happen whether or not the person had been drinking or not when it comes to a low level DUI. It would have happened the same way if they hadn't. Why is this page not loading? This is remarkable, friends. We are very fortunate to see it, to say the least. So I think the most important thing is, let's see, I think if Trump sweeps all of those states that I read, let me add this up real quick. I'm doing some quick math. Yeah, 7 to 171. So if Biden gets Maine, that puts him at 191. The magic number is 270 here. Trump is probably going to get Alaska, so that'll negate that. That'll put them within this almost the same margin they're at now. Trump gets 313. Yeah, see, it might come down to Pennsylvania. I'm sorry for the silence there. It's not much fun to watch dead silence, I know, but I had to do some quick math there. It very well could come down to Florida. Excuse me, Pennsylvania. I hope it doesn't, of course, but North Carolina, though, that could be a big one. Let's see if we get an update here. Hey Google, turn the volume up.
ABC News, your voice, your vote, the 2020 presidential election. Once again, here are correspondents Karen Travers and Aaron Katersky.
Good evening, good morning. President Trump has won Florida and Iowa. Joe Biden is leading in Arizona. Other battlegrounds are still waiting for votes.
So good to hear that he got Iowa. See, Arizona would have helped a lot. Arizona let us down greatly.
We project Montana for President Trump. 3 electoral votes in President Trump's column. Still no word yet on the Montana Senate race where
Montana going Trump. It's beautiful news, friends. It's absolutely beautiful news. This is what happens when you're the Democrats and you spend all this time lying and all of this time getting your digs in against a president who has done nothing but put this country first. I am delighted to see this.
The Democratic contender, we'll see how that race goes, but the Democrats have been looking for more seats, and they hope Montana's the one with Steve Bullock. We'll wait to see. Right now, President Trump has a slight lead in the race to 270 electoral votes. By our projections, 212 electoral votes for President Trump, 209 for Joe Biden. Karen, with
212 for Trump, 29 for Biden. Yeah. This is a beautiful day.
Things have kind of slowed down to a point where, because of the outstanding vote in Georgia that you mentioned, we probably won't hear much from Georgia, and that right now.
This is even better news. CBS News is saying that we are looking at a bigger gap. Again, it's ABC News that you're listening to, and then CBS News that I'm giving to you, reading to you. And they are projecting 209 electoral votes for Trump and 191 for Biden.
So I want to bring in ABC's Jim Ryan. He's covering the Biden campaign tonight in Delaware, but Jim's a long haul Texas.
Thank God.
And Jim, I wanted to ask you about a statement, at least for.
All right, friends. So I need some comments. What do you want me to do? How long should I keep this going? I don't mind. I can talk about a number of things all night, but I also don't want to bore you guys to death. So I'm going to go with YouTube first. YouTube, you want me to keep going for a while? I'm good. I'm completely up for it. I don't want to bore you. I don't know how many more numbers we're going to get tonight, and it may come down to Florida. Why do I keep saying that? Trump won Florida. Pennsylvania? So YouTube, what do you guys think? Facebook watchers, what do you want me to do? Let me know. I'd be happy to stay with you all night if you want. I don't mind a bit, but I need to know. Because right now it may be a lot of my opinions and different insights. So far, everything I've said all night long has been almost entirely coming true the way that I predicted. Almost completely.
Because he assumed that it was going to be in the red column again this time around. And it probably will be, but I think there was enough.
Yes, Texas, they are behind here. Texas has been called for Trump. 5,641,245 to 4,989,008. Texas went to Trump. Once again, Texas has gone to Donald Trump. Kent Eno, you still with me out there? Come on, say it with me. Texas has gone to Donald Trump. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The governor's deputy said, no, each county can have only one. That's only one drop-off location for 254 counties. And the response reports
It's beautiful, friends. We really needed this to happen tonight, and maybe this will be a wake-up call. Maybe this will be what the Democrats need to see, that their socialist agenda now has been radically denied. We did not take it when you gave us an old white woman. We did not take it when you gave us an old white man. We did not take it when you gave us a black woman. Regardless of how many times they've tried to repackage their socialist agenda, it has been rejected by the American people. And it looks like it's happening once again.
What themes have been developing? We've seen some trends in exit polls, but in many of them, it really varies by state.
It does, but we can see some.
This has been a very good night.
Folks who cared about.
I like that they can barely speak. They're so depressed that they're just stumbling over their words. They can barely talk.
That we're sick of the COVID.
All right, friends. I think I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe we've gone as far as we can go tonight. If you guys want me to keep going, make sure you let me know, because I'm waffling here on whether or not.
Those who continue to say no.
Let me check one more
We should
site.
really be on public health concerns, on containing the epidemic, on listening to science. Those folks steadily vote for Joe Biden. And but one of the reasons why Trump did better than many of the pre-election polls was that a greater number of people tilted on the issue of the economy.
Yeah, of course they tilted on the issue of the economy, because Trump has been an economic powerhouse, the likes of which the Democrats can only dream of. they like to point to the successes which they claim that Bill Clinton achieved. But Bill Clinton was lucky enough to ride in on the popularity and success of the invention called the internet. And I mean, at that point, a monkey, it probably could have driven the United States into quite a bit of success, simply based upon the fact of what the internet was. So we're currently sitting here at 209 electoral votes for Trump and 196 for Biden. We've got Trump leading in Wisconsin, 51.2 to 47, with 10 electoral votes. Michigan sitting beautifully at 53.4 to 44.9. Pennsylvania, 56.7 to 42. It looks like Pennsylvania is going to end up going to Trump. It's without even needing to do this long count. 66% of the votes are in there. It looks like Virginia's going Biden. Georgia is 52% Trump, 46.7% Biden. So he's going to get that. It looks like Biden's going to walk away with Arizona and Nevada. They're going to let us down this year. So that would do real quick. That would give Biden
circumstances of this time around, there's just a lot more caution being put on these things. But I think being refreshed on some of
that would give him more, so that would put Biden at
because you said in Georgia, like we already see data from some of those counties around Atlanta. So
that would put Biden at 204.
for a little bit right now, and we could see the same thing in North Carolina. And remember, early at night,
Where? Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm adding in my head.
we were talking about those states that potentially quick counter to
And you're giving those 17 to 5 plus 13 from Virginia.
for the rest of the night. And Florida recently, still waiting for North Carolina and Georgia. At least we could
That would give him 30. So that would put Biden at 96, 06, 16. That would put Biden at 226. And then Trump would get 10, 26.
I just don't think this is going to play out the way everybody thinks it's going to play out. I'm ABC News political director Rick Klein. Join me along with ABC Chief White House correspondent Jonathan.
That would give Trump another 58.
And turn the Washington insiders to tough questions on the power
58.
How can the American people trust the
50.
over and over again? But our truth, listen for free on Apple Podcasts or your
17.
Now, when it matters most.
See, Trump might be able to pull this off if Biden gets Nevada and Arizona. Oh, I forgot about Hawaii, though. If Trump gets Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, and Georgia, you might be able to put this in the bag. But Hawaii looks like it's going to go that way. So that is where we are currently. I've got people on Facebook. What do you guys think? I asked earlier, what were some of the things that made you vote? What were some of the things that made you pick who you picked, why you picked? What were you thinking when you went in? Hey, Google, turn the volume down. I'm looking at trying to see if I have more comments here. People tinging into the show. Deanna saying she's scared. Are you listening, Deanna? Are you listening to the show currently? There is much to be happy about, to put it mildly. She says she's worried. No, there's not much to be worried about here. You should be worried if you're a Biden supporter because, I mean, things are looking pretty good for Donald J. Trump this evening, to put it conservatively. No pun intended. Okay, so what do you guys think? Should I go or should I stay or should I go now? I'll go live later if we get any earth-shattering news, because we may be held up on Pennsylvania for the evening. Do remember that, again, donations help immensely, which you can do at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com through PayPal. And all the money that you give to me, friends, I put towards a better show. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. I really appreciate it. I might jump back onto something else, changes significantly. I pretty much let you know where the states are, but it's going to be too close maybe without Pennsylvania anyway. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you hit share and make sure you have people knowing when I'm on here.